Greetings, everyone. It is so good to be with you virtually. I apologize that I can't be there. I very much enjoyed being with you last year in Singapore. This year, due to some travel difficulties, I could not be with you. I hope you will understand. When I visited with you last time, I was very clear that ICANN owed you an apology. We had not done enough for Asia. I am happy to tell you today that the statistics and the facts on the ground look good for all of us. Since I met you a year ago, ICANN increased its staff in Asia from 1 person to now 14 people in Asia Pacific. And we are continuing the growth of our resources and of our people to serve you in the region. We have also, since then, opened the hub that we discussed when I visited with you. We now have one of our 3 major operational hubs in the world located in Singapore under the leadership of QUEC. We have also opened the first engagement center of the world for ICANN in Beijing. Asia is a large place, and as I shared with you last year, I was born on the edge of Asia in Little Lebanon, on the other side of the world. And I know how far Lebanon is from the needs of people in Tokyo. But it's all these needs that come together under your leadership. And I want to reaffirm the commitment of ICANN to serve you better and to be there on the ground in the region so that we understand your needs in your local environments, in your languages, in your contexts, and bring these to the core of ICANN and bring them back out so that you become part of the core. This is what we're committed to do. We're doing the same thing across all regions because ICANN must globalize. Why, you ask? I think it is important for us to maintain our global legitimacy and to ensure that all people feel that ICANN's processes, ICANN's mechanisms, ICANN's policies are the world's policies, and they're accountable to the world, that we actually continue on this pace of globalization. You may have heard that last week, the board of directors of ICANN has supported our call and the community's call for the further globalization of ICANN. And I'll be working closely with our board members in order to ensure we advance our work in that area. Specifically, for example, I believe we have discussed last year in Singapore the need to take the affirmation of commitments that we have made to the world, however, in a document signed between us and the US government. We need to take these agreements and globalize them. There should no longer be agreements between ICANN and any one government or any one actor, but rather agreements that are supported by the global acceptance and accountability of ICANN to all of you. Similarly, we need to look at our policy structures and ensure that our policy structures are open and inclusive and transparent, as we have always done them, but then expand that and extend it so that they're inclusive and accountable to all of you across the world. And finally, the IANA functions. These are the core functions that ensure that the internet remains one for all of us. This is a huge responsibility on ICANN's shoulders. And I want to assure you today that the statements I've made for the first time in New Delhi, in Asia as well, that the unique involvement of the US government in these functions is now really no longer sustainable. We need to take that involvement, that stewardship of the US government, and now bring it to the world so that these mechanisms that ensure that ICANN is accountable in performing these functions become mechanisms and processes that all of the world is participating in coordinating with ICANN. So the time is momentous upon us. The issues of ICANN and IANA globalization are important. However, I urge us all to address these things together with calm, with wisdom, so that there is no chance under any scenario for the internet stability, for the internet security, and for the system's resiliency to be compromised. This is our mission. This is our commitment to each other, that we ensure that these paramount objectives are not compromised in the rush to globalize and evolve ICANN. Finally, I want to encourage all of you in this great meeting you have and in the many venues we have through ICANN, but also through your own mechanisms and institutions. Our friends at ISOC, APRICOT certainly, and all the other places, the IGF. We held a great meeting in Bali this year. And of course, ICANN will be holding its next meeting in Singapore, again in Asia. I urge you to use all these venues so that you can voice together your opinions and have your input at the table, shaping the global agenda. Once again, I apologize for not being with you. I so much wanted to be amongst you, listening to you and learning from you. And I hope that next year will bring us a better chance to spend the time together. And I remind you that my commitment to you last year, that I will come and stay with my family in Asia, I will make it true. And I was in Asia last week to meet with some of the constituencies in China, but will be coming back with my wife and staying in Singapore for many weeks. And I hope to see you there. Have a wonderful meeting.